Hi. Hello. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to the long nights of the poets. My name is Flo. I'll be your host this beautiful long evening, sponsored by the Department of Arts and Culture. Before we even go anywhere, guys, we all know that the world is in a bad shape. We lost so many people, but I hope with all these losses that we're getting, we will come together as the whole world, as the global village, to support each other through this pandemic, okay? Whew. Now, with that being said, let's observe all the COVID protocols. Mask. Acclimatize yourself with the summatization of yourself. Are you ready to get it on with the poets? Will be everywhere. It's always night somewhere. We are jumping timelines. We are jumping dream lines. We are jumping music. We are jumping words with these lines. We are connecting everyone, everywhere. USA, Zimbabwe, Nigeria, South Africa, Durban, everywhere. So without wasting your time, let me introduce you to this amazing healer with the word. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, humans and aliens, spirits and other beings and anything in between that comes with positivity, I give to you Vangile. Gantsho. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy.
Ifanele ungani imvula. Izakuwela ntoni imvula masimi ehleli engasebenzi. Abantwana begcwele idolophi bekhangelana nento bangayaziyo. Siphalele singabantu. We have spilled. We have spilled out of God's hands. They came to expand their nation under the guise of education. These men traveled treacherous seas, crossed barren lands to save the heathens, civilize our people. Babefike bephethe incwadi ezinomlomo obomvu. Nesipili beshumayela ngoKristu bathatha umhlaba wethu basinxibisa ibhatyi sayifunda le Bhayibhile wasindiswa umuntu omnyama. On green fertile soil they settled, built churches and erected crosses. They sold us milk from our cows, grain from our land, found diamonds in our mines and paid us to dig them up. Kwathiwa bazawufika bephethe amaqhosha angena mayithunja nebhotile ezinxilisayo sawathenga la maqhosha sayisela le bhotile wanxila umuntu omnyama. We were civilized now. From Bantu stands to crowded hostels, we had bathed, now had salaries and wheels for transportation. Our roles had changed now. From community members to sources of exploitation. Sasingamaqaba ngoku, kodwa sifundile ngoku, basikhuphe ezilalini basifake edolophini, sabashiya oronto bethu sangena ematyotyombeni. Sawalibala amasiko wethu. Kwaku waphucuka umuntu omnyama. Chama.
Welcome to the future. Let us take a journey into the mystical past, where you shall find your future. A future of love, peace, and understanding, where we will give our love and respects to the unborn babies of tomorrow. I'm talking about the Nelson Mandelas of the world, the Dalai Lama, Mahatma Gandhi, Joe Slovo, Helen Suzman, Steve Biko, Credo Motwa, Malcolm X, Mary of the Maroons, Maya Angelou, Abraham Lincoln, Quincy Jones. You see, they stand for what you and I could be, stretching before me like a galaxy of stars into entities of the unknown. For you will never know where you're going to unless you know where you're coming from. For you are now a child of the 21st century, and I would love to welcome you to your own 21st century. With love, peace, understanding, and tranquility, and beautiful mystical experiences. But I also believe one day when I die, I shall become a dream. A dream of the past, the present, and the future. And now I'd love to welcome you to your own 21st century and beautiful mystical experience. Welcome to your own future. die, I'd love to become a dream. I'd love to become your dream. A dream of the past, the present, and the future. Welcome to your own 21st century. Welcome to the future. Welcome to the future. Na 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 na. Ayu.
Ha ke tsebe ke tlo reng mara nkare ke tlo renga or nkare ke tlo ngare ka leleme le tenamo ka leleme le monate ka puo ya letshefa ka puo ya lefatshe e seng ka seja petla e seng ka seja tlhapi ka pula a ene tlhapi ke noga ya metsi ke gano ya tsime kopa le mameleng sharp because I never ngiphinde ngoba mina istali ngiyasiyasha ireverse yombahla ngiphenduzela amamaga labantu abalacwa boswar bakovala bare ke tafule feng le gada go birara ke bodese dade shi etse engenza shi eve sithusu kyasi abu hatina mulekelege chindave ndikomba angamanda adorangama nesilebende sikanzanzu nolanama siyambaka modolo denidi nodonkede adapata nidi yedevada qada ndidithe tata isambulaja sihulahlu iziphathi ngoba libito kyalihlanukela kakekhatsi ngaphakathi isikhathi nomkhathi sikhatha ngaphakathi esathi thisa nguthisha ngushathi kilibitso kitsobi nakitsitso kitsotsi aninibo aniboni gabofelo ke tlo re hello ka leleme la bakhotso ke thuba mo lefifing ka re ke legodu mofati wa me lo khamba nawe to kheyiti khomu kodwa limi lomdabo vele sishaya ngamabo sithi ngare mabnqatska ha o oske qhwenqasa asubu neqhub kera khikeite gabe qare ngomanta curu ada qhauba sida kai umis waraga khaika khwengera kuru waraga khwengera wa qhwi gabe neqhub ke akuru sti quru qare Tweetse takera xaxa kwetqaw. Sida di goan, tsi sida di qaw. Ngubu tsi qhubuse, dida ge case anqisa kweqhub di kweb, tsi qanqa up. Ngani tsekwa vekep. Haka veke kwa qhab. Tsamqa qha kwa kurip. Diache qhaqase. Di qhab.
I know where me from. No look like me, familiar of you. Maybe so, or maybe no. But I sure fit the shoe of my history that they say is longer than the gallows rope. But at the seat of my need that is stronger than the lion of Zion hope. So I know where me from. I know where me from. I feel it in the bounce of the Guma drum, though I know not a place specifically, or my first given name genealogically, but I know where me from. Under stormy, dark sky, or under the laughing sun, I know where me from. It's from here or maybe over there, but I damn sure know I am ever near where them be black or brown or honey or beige all around. That's where me from. The where me from is where love is strong and people get along sharing the salt of life's misery, along with the heartache and the joy that make a little I and I a mighty we. That's where me from, where people ever striving to stand free like a many, many rivers flowing into one mighty sea. That's where me from.
Akabuyele Maputo. Akabona thina sifuna ukusihluphekela. Asifune ukuhlushwa amakwerekwere thina. Se-South Africa thina. Asikho eAfrika. Angasohlani phela amashangana kwamakhopa nefish. Futhi lentsha yehlise neprice yokushefa. Isibalekisela ama-customer. Uyasikhosta. Kumele amashe kwayizolo man. Sisale thina ama-South Africans ngehulazo lethu emabhunini wethu. I mean, yini abaqoshe makubo. Thina ngeke usibone Somalia thina. Singamapasi thina. Singama-South Africans namabhunu wethu. Abamashe kwayizolo. Bamfaka idosi neparaso kawe Ramaphoyisa abamzwanga. Uthe uyabaleka. Wawa. Ecabanga ngomabhodo wakhe nabantwana bakhe abakhula ngempuphu nethemba. Wathi uzama ukuthela ipace, wakhathala ephathisini, wagebhukeka wapisha, wavuka sebemnamathela omantshi mjondolo ngama-10 namba 5 pounds. Wathandaza ukawo. Wathandaza ngesigrigamba. Bamlaha okhokshola lepatient base Ramaphoyisa. Amhudu noma community leader. Bamthatha abafana bamkhasa ngeparasi bengakamlayiti. Bamkhumbuza ukugcina ukuthi nasezulwini abatshela impela ukuthi umuntu eSouth Africa uzulu nabanye nakuyena umuntu. Ayitshele futhi nenkosi yakhe ukuthi mayimbuyisa ingambuyise ishangana. Bamrola ngeduve njengofaro. Bamkhasa ngesigubhu sikababa kasebenzisa eparafini. Bashaya igujini kaSamora Mashele. Salilizela insasa zakhona bashama flate bamjoyinta imjondolo bamfaka esekeleni bamlight. Wascream ukawo. Wasilahlela emhlabathini. Ezama ukuciba ilanga bulenza odwa kaTade. Warola, wawa, wavuka, warola, wawa, wascream waqhuma amehlo, mecha ngomemi nilibalela ukawe thandaza kwashuka beAfrika ngobudala bayo. Peace. Peace. Amongst the Africans. Sondela. Sondela please Jesus Christmas omhlophe. Onamaphondo akheliwe. Negawuni emhlophe nama-sandals. Sifuna wena demonstrate uzosithethelela. Sishisa iqhambile isiqedela imisebenzi izolo. Sifa ngawe kuphela Jesus Christmas omhlophe. Esiplake ema-room divideni. Ulahlela i-sandals ushaya iwine nempitshi zakhe eziyi-12. Kungakho abantwana bethu befunde ama-multiracial bensundu. Benamagama siwazi ukuthi kuthini bensundu. Bekwazi ukubiza ibhunu ngose. Kodwa umAfrika emdala bembize ngoma my friend kodwa bensundu. kungakho semnyama sishada white wedding siphethe bokhali makusaba ngakhulumi nangathi kungakho kunekwang kungakho umAfrika ekwang kungakho kunomuntu kuneshangane kungakho country ebizwa ngeSouth Africa sihlupheka sithuthana ngencwadi kaMateyu sizongcwaba umchunu sithandaza sibiza uJames 13 sizongcwaba umphafudi sithandaza sibiza uJesu wamhlophe waseNazaretha thina sihlupheke sowethu sithandaza sibheke phezulu bamgalazile uGaramaphoyisa abodakhe bavuka bageza bathandaza babhema bagibela amateksi namagari boklina ama-ofisi ezweni lokhokho babo. Peace amongst the Africans. Lento iqale sakhula ngokuthanda ukufa ngale Instagram uyi forever young yami wena ugijimisa ibuku kubule barene ekhondo neplasma eligcwele iroom nesmartphone nescreen saver semedia edush inithi pari ineteke engenalo ismile kamnandi inama pimples ifanelwa amabhokati lokhi come mayinyathela ingilosi yami ngesiphule esinodaka sakhula uyidimane kimi wena ukhetha ukuba ilahlele ebhareni nemali sakhula uyipopo lesishebo kimi mfethu wena ukhetha ukuba icrap lebhareni nemali sakhula ngithi hello dawe demoni lomjive uthi ngokukhaphe uyoresta ufonela ibhareni nemali engayibamba ukhinyeke ubhaze mina sakhula ngokuhlanganisela isiphahlo se11 kwabaloyi ungedla ungisuthe sakhula bethi mayiba online ibhareni nemali ukakhohlwa nekota amandla amokugcina ugidimisa unogwaja kagesi ungiblock uxolisa after 6 months ngixole somdanger Instagram ngifunde ngawo ukuthi mawunothanda ungenamali kumele ube calm sakhula ngakhula wakhulelwa ibhari smartphone screen saver maid tushi yaphika usikhokho kathathu uyashada waterfront yakushuma bakabaka langilase maintenance court sakhula washawa stress wagibela igari yepiano nomjive washo isikoko ngakhulumi nogogo wabangena to come nice wena all the single ladies ngikhona wena qomgogo ngama-west amhlophe nama-top ama-printer segana ema-neighbor goods market uposta ama-feature picture kuma-Instagram nama-crush akwaseLondon sakhula. I mean you are a nice guy and all mara man Makhafula awuna that thing man. Wathi angina fashion taste, angikho cultured, angazi good wine, angazi live music, angazi dinazation, angazi ne-vegan, ngidla inhloko nesibindi, nginomkhaba, even la mali na-aircon, futhi ngiphuze esportini, wathi sihlangane emaboning, wadawuka ama-cocktail ema-rooftop, wathi awubuyele spread ngevele lingaclash, wena une-class. Wafleta nama-tourist phambi kwami wangiqeqisha ngama-Ben 10 ngavuka ungiblokhe ku-WhatsApp somdanger ngale Instagram okwebonda laseJericho lawo iphupho lami mfethu lafela estradini walivala ngeDaily Sun khawathi ugijimisa imisi uWhatsApp from iBarasa Stellenbosch iphupho lami lawa ngenxa yesithembiso se-trip to Paris ama-beach aseZanzibar Cape Town Jazz Festival ungayazi ne-jazz chartered flights to New Delhi somdanger udeli yadlala amadayisi ngawo ibhareni nemali yazenzela yakuphefumulela mayiqeda akhumbula imedia yedushi ibhari smartphone screen saver maid dushi wasefeka nge-email yabuyela eStellenbosch man ngoba sizohlangana nawe lichaba udakwe intashi nosidrose namalegi ngizambashile uzongitshela ngefate late angisena fate ku-fate angisenathando for wena thangale Instagram angeke usadlula ngale thuchasha yakho nginecover danger thangale Instagram.
The journey. It was in the train to Bellville, the one from Cape Town at 3:15. It was there I met him, looking tired and grey. I did not see his questions. I preferred to look away. It was in the train to Bellville, the one from Cape Town at 3:15. where I saw him looking through the clear shining window, anxiously clutching the bag in his hands. "What's up with him?" the schoolboys asked. "He sure looks nervous. Has he something to hide?" They all started laughing, and he kept on looking. It was in the train to Bellville, the one from Cape Town, at 3:15. With the name of the station in front of our eyes, that he slowly moved forward and tapped the boy right next to him. "What is the station?" he softly asked. The answer came in spurts of laughter. "He cannot read!" Continuing the mocking, they got off the train. And then I understood the eyes and the questions. I cannot read without thinking of the train to Bellville, the one from Cape Town at 3:15. And the thousands of eyes looking out of the window, and me never knowing whether they can see.
This mongrel, this township met courtships when pregnant, egg-shaped escape. We all lose hope in our elements, and parents pay dues, same clef, same hue, hippie bass chasing a space just to praise who. See, my wings spark tension. Respect pavements adjacent, cause bleeding the streets is baseless and a touch too complacent. We walk and talk and change minds for crooked TIs while I listen gifted, begging the high just to bless my sky. Oh my high. See, we met in townships where courtship was you and I pregnant, never with thought, always got caught by throws that fly. Weekly lace, we be blazed clean, and these black, yellow, and days green. Excuse me as I kiss you high, pregnant, you ask why townships never kiss the sky. I said our courtship a township. Your mongrel, my element, lost the irrelevant testament of us being in love. So we switched and we ditched lover's glove, trust never enough to keep us from the acronym of a house in Vereniging. So now on the government's pay ring, I now sing Lost Hope in its element. We are suffering. We are suffering. We are suffering, Rainbow Child. We are suffering. We are suffering. We are suffering. We are suffering, Rainbow Child. We are suffering. We are suffering from a colonial, imperial, apartheid, enslavement. Babalas. Yo, Babalas. Gitwerikis klama. Yo, Babalas. Gitwerikis klama kupon regular chicken licking. Because izolo bengitagiwe namhla sengitagiwe ngomsozo bengitagiwe umnandu jwala. For the kids in the back. Izolo bengitagiwe namhla sengitagiwe ngomsozo bengitagiwe umnandu jwala. My name is himself from The Brother Moves On.
I am the dragon, hidden lantern, like abstract of the top, imagine. I sip from the golden gallon, watching the assassin from my labyrinth, the tavern on the rings of Saturn. Cultivating planets as I master habits in my attic. Systematically engaging magic, I spend my time traveling galactic, discovering fantastic, telepathic beings, awakened seraphim, step into my dream, scrolls of the unseen, creating light beams, above the consecrated temple of the venerated queen. Lean with the fatness, to move clean among the whackness. No time for scenes of distraction, action, my application of technique, mastering the ceremony, the 7 styles of holy grail, not matrimony, mnemonic, my scales are forbidden tales, access hypnotic. And in the garden of secret things, revealed to me from the dragon of a sacred wing, mind over matter, metronome will bring, moods to make you swing, like show you can in the boxing ring. And in the garden of secret things, revealed to me from the dragon of a sacred wing, mind over matter, metronome will bring, moods to make you swing, like show you can in the boxing ring. Enter the stargate of fire, the force of orbit span my horizon live wire. I come from a spiral metamorphic, immortal rival, reciting cyclones with my phones. These hype drones can enter my rhyme zone with monotones. We scatter bones from high thrones across the Milky Way, bringing back what led astray. When cards get dealt, circumferences of Orion's belt. Enter the stargate of fate, divine guidance, magician of the science, my alliance, subtle and defiant. Against the grain we triumph with energy, moving chino. Enemy come to test the wisdom without jeopardy, moving quick and undetected. Beneath the surface, ancient practices are resurrected. And in the garden of secret things, revealed to me from the dragon of a sacred wing, mind over matter, metronome will bring, moves to make you swing, like show you can in the boxing ring. And in the garden of secret things, revealed to me from the dragon of a sacred wing, mind over matter, metronome will bring, moods to make you swing, like show you can in the boxing ring.
Isithoba kubaba kuthixo somandla umdali wezulu nomhlaba uqamatha kulenseni. Isithobo ndisiphethe ndawuthina ungabangeni. Vula ivangeli xa senifuma nifuthela futhi ibhabheli. Khali lixilongo ngoko sukuba ulivanga nto nje kungamameli. Salibela ukhonse sasemhlabeni imnqandeni imfama elahlekele emfazweni iphokho nihleli. Emithandazweni ngoba inyanga ifihleli mandingani ifihleli. Dabi lomoya lilweni makiweni eliweni kliweni emililweni kulindweni. Ngobe lona xesha leli dala ukhwaza thuleleni ungasabeli eliliyilo lasematolweni emadolweni ndiyakhasa ngumntana ongazinto ngezasemhlabeni nezasezikolweni seninkoleleni bandisimisela ukhila lomtyholo uvela intsulo etyholweni ngoba koneli ligazi labantwana ababulala naye ezikoneni abadala baphele ezimokolweni kubilimbizazi abaphekele esogweni vumba livakale emoyeni linzi matyhini thizi umntu ungcolila ndimoneli kodwa sobe uthixo ke kuxhaphaza abantwana bakhe cabanga kuboneli lumkela ungadeleli banomthandazo embovana uyavakala engqonweni senindikholweni asitoliki kwisixhosa Uqwalaselo kanye lomhloluso phosa diliza iminyango ndaye kunqonqoza velo ngobuso buzela amaxhokoza khanye ebusweni njengenkwenkwezi esibhakabhakeni ngizophokoza dala lembizi icholoza abantu bathi tolokazi phosa subufuku ndibuza ngibani ibhosa anzanga ngoqoza kukho ingxaki ezinkulu ngisindwa zincinga soqhiya nkulu abazalo makhula lidlali kakhulu lolala banyeke ezimnyama bandibiza ngegama xa kudlala amagubu uqhuma uthuli idumiso ivuli yasefacama kuyaphendula uNkulunkulu Fuke ngenjixuku uqala thilanga lisonye kumtyholise engaqale ehangeni efuna uvalela amasango ngangeni ngafikeleli ekukhanyeni noba ngawe noba sekutheni ngoba andikho nqanda ungaqhela ungandideleli hey wena Fuke ngenjixuku uqala thilanga lisonye kumtyholise engaqale ehangeni efuna uvalela amasango ngangeni ngafikeleli ekukhanyeni noba ngawe noba sekutheni Ngoba andikho nqanda ungaqhela ungandideleli Sama Yanqula ndiyathaza ndiyacamagusha Ndiyasithoba kwabantu abakhulu ngenhlonipho imbeko nothando Ndiyathoba kodwa lomxhengo dlangamanto kwanyankomo zulohlombe Yabacamagusha orhadebe obhungana ontlebe zombili ohlubo omthimkhulu Ndithi camagu dosini incwina mgqokana Makusuku bomnyama kuvela ukukhanya Yabacamagusha abantu abakhulu kundawo ngendawo abakuzo Abantu abakhulu abasezintabeni abasemathapeni Abaselagcibeni abasengetheni Abasemiqolombeni Ndiyasithoba njengomntana kuni bantu abakhulu ndimcamagusha Sithandazele Ndicela nina nisithandazele
Hello, my name is Hope Masike. I am a musician from the beautiful Zimbabwe. I sing and I play this our traditional instrument called mbira. So today I'm going to perform a song for you that's called Kunemumwe from my latest album. And Kunemumwe is a disgruntled husband or wife who is lamenting to the heavens to say, I've discovered that my other half has a girlfriend, a boyfriend, girlfriends, boyfriends, whichever. I am really, really angry, but I'm asking you to calm me down and handle this with grace so that I do not commit a crime. So this song speaks against crimes of passion and some of these causes of gender-based violence in families. I hope you enjoy it. The song is called Kunemumwe. Ishe unainda sauka naisa matenga moyo warwadziwa mwari mupa zvose dzangu dzonge dzadambuka narandi naranda narandi narina narandi naranda narani narina musi uno ndatsinditeeriva hanzi ariko mumwe zuro zuro uno ndatsinditeeriva shuwa ariko mumwe saka nhasi ndati ndidakatere kwangu ndingabara ngozi narani nasi zvadhakwa zvachiberwa ndisema heya aheya nasi zvagwamba zvorembera wondisema heya aheya ishe wonainda sauka naisa matenga moyo warwadziwa mwari mopa zvose dzangu dzonge dzadambuka yewe yewe ndere ndende yewe yewe ndere yewe ndere ndere ndende yewe yewe ndere yewe tata yewe 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 Thank you.
The factories have ground to a standstill long before contagion. The owners arrived from China and Korea and then left. Anglo has stayed, but mainly as a cipher on the stock exchange. In Pinetown, Frame plucked out the stuffing and left. The month-one silence of the COVID days made my ears ring about the perennial reports, overripe and red, of the many youngsters who never held a spanner or a clock-in card, who never owned a season ticket for the bus. The takers seize what they want: earth's hard bones and marrow, forests full of logs and seafronts. The bringers bring malt whiskey, the smegs, the lints, the flat screens via Maersk, Saf Marine and Evergreen. The local kings and headmen, voted in and garlanded, sashed in green, yellow, black, are happy with their stipends. Green leather seats, their VIP marquees, they arrive for the school play with their bodyguards. They gave the yes as Marikana burned, as Tatani bled, as a flag-bearing airline tanked, as the Eskom flickered and faltered, and as post office outlets shrank, recoiling from their customers. Dazed by tear gas, I sally on, dazed as the newsreaders convey one broken dream every day. I'm numbed by COVID deaths. The spirit of so many learners dampened, their little hearts squashed. I am rattled by trains that don't arrive, at train stations without tracks. There's an abandoned factory somewhere beside the old highway near Camperdown. In one section, there's an old boot, a dusty white helmet, cupping some drinking water, and up high, cobwebs and a bird's nest festooning a rusted crane. And at my feet, grass blades pushing through the concrete. I can't breathe. The dead call out to us from across the decades, here in South Africa, there in Namibia, Congo, France, the US. From Rodney King to Hector Peterson, to George Floyd and back and back. Lumumba, King, Biko, Tatani, I can't breathe. The boots and the bulldozer wheels have chewed and stomped across the land, across my face. And somewhere down below, rugged as the day is long, the seeds that wait, I can't breathe. So little air. Silicosis, asbestos, the gagging went with air. The buses and the taxis heading to the place of toil. The jam-packed trains on which like graffiti the jobless youth cling. The shaft that injects blood into the earth and sucks out gold. I can't breathe. The crowded wards, the brown benches hard as bone, where uncles, aunts and kids sit, the beds that lay like wounded soldiers in the passageway, the blades protruding, the zipped up coroner's bag with oh so little ventilation. I can't breathe. The table's bare. Each morsel in the month-end's jaw, I use some sugar water, I roll cornmeal into a ball and chew, and wait for something more. And thus, this belly limps and stumbles over thresholds into one more month, one more broken day. We can't breathe. I inhale. I feel the universe expand and bloat within my gut. My mind's a garden weeded, ready for the spring. My feet the pistons for the journey. This scarred heart is still toned and sinewed. Let's push back across against the crushing knee. Until then, I can't breathe.
My mother's mother has done the suffering for my mother. My mother has done the suffering for me. This is how I inherit a scar. I wear mother's bones. I fit mama's clothes when she goes to work. I fit into the dances she had in them, into the panic of walking the streets at night, into the making of a home that would not hold. I fit mama's clothes. Her favorite skirt is striped black and white, with the lines pointing to her feet, like a whisper saying she must run. Her favorite blouse is blue. She was beautiful in it before it became a mouth swallowing her ugly along with her light. This one outfit, excused from scraping the floors and raising white children, saved for Sunday's gospel and prayers begging God for an answer. To look like mama is to look like sacrifice. Only a corner in a room to keep all her things while Baba fills the whole house with himself. The mirror says, I am drowning in a skirt. I twirl in amazement. But mama's life is so beautiful, I can die in it. If Dad could tell me what made her laugh, made her happy with less, made her stay when she could run, made her wear a blouse to watch herself drown. I want to tweak the sides with a needle and thread, but she will know that I wear her life when she goes.
Dear Father, there was never a coincidence in the absence of mirrors in our house. I wonder about the ones broken by you before I was born, glass shards in your closed fists, youth lost to a persistent grief, a rite of passage through silence and running. How far did you reach before your knees could no longer carry you away from yourself? Were you ever afraid of my mother's love, of the way it poured out of her straight from the pulse of her heart? Is that why you portioned out yours? And which was a more haunting first, the crossing of a border or the birth of a daughter? I know there must have been a tenderness locked in you somehow, because once when I was 2 years old, you tripped crossing the railroad with me on your shoulders, maneuvered us in a split second so you would take the impact of the fall. And once when I was 14, I woke up in the middle of the night, a soft melody seeping in through the crack of the bedroom door, followed it and found you standing in prayer. I never heard you in recitation before or after, but that evening, your voice gruff from years of defensiveness sounded like a miracle, melodic and unwavering. When faced with resentment, I remind myself that love, self-taught in response to abandonment, leaves all those it touches ruined. A loose cannon cannot be blamed for rolling. I am not blind to my lineage. I come from you and you come from absence. And before you, grandfather was a young boy struggling in a military camp, trying to find worth in defending a lost country, alternating between empty bottles and damp jail cells after the independence. And long before him was a distant poet wandering the desert. Love cannot be plucked from thin air. I know this now. There is no blame to be held out.
This one is called India is My Country. Like the fascist who led us to this ruin, death has also learned to wear a different disguise these days. No heavy as sorrow, rose marigold garlands, no tying up the corpse's big toes together, no one folding its arms as if in prayer, no one wrapping their dead in fresh silk clothes, no freezer boxes attached to power cables, no one spraying Eudyclin so that the dead keep fresh through the wake, no one stuffing the dead with cotton in their ears and nostrils, no one fussing about with the corpse and the coin on the dead one's forehead, no women singing dirges, no women beating their breasts and tearing their clothes, no steady stream of visitors, no howling cries that ripple through the room, no bossy men to say women and children cannot go to graveyards, no cousins poking you in the ribs saying the next body will fall in your home, no booze, no funeral drums, no pallbearers, no coffins, no vicaricy, none of the hysteria we came to associate with death, none of the collective catharsis, none of the never-ending tears. Only the endless sight of anonymous corpses wrapped up in white plastic streaming out from ambulances, a lone relative who is allowed to hang around, rows and rows of open-air pyres with wood mercilessly piled close together to contain the flames, unrepentant fire and ash, cremation workers moving around in the smoky days, recycling the wood that has not had the heart to burn. On that last journey, no mortal remains, no farewells, no last words. We mourn for the dead, we mourn for our numbness, we mourn for the last pride, for the lost pride that let us say each day, India is my country, to which we now feebly add, my country is a crematorium.
When we were young with blank slates for hearts, and Mom would chide us for breaking plates, we would run into your arms with puppy eyes and pouted lips, and you would save us. We were small enough to use your legs as slides, your hands as swings, your tummy our trampoline, our own personal playground with our names on it. We knew with exactness the screech your car made when his tires had parked in their rightful place. Like playful puppies, we would stand by the window, stretching our hands between its bars, chanting, Daddy, oh yo yo, Daddy, oh yo yo. You were home. Fast forward to years of outgrowing skin and limbs, of growing into facial features, looking more like him. We now use his own blood and lips to curse and reject him respectively. The melody has been altered. We hiccup harmonies, barricade our bodies with our own embrace, with clogged noses, tears leaping out of shut eyes. In between forgotten breaths, we whisper, we can never be Tade's girls. It's hard to fully love a man who haunts your mother at the break of dawn. He piles pain on her breakfast plate and watches her choke on it. Then he tilts the glass of water so his mouth sits at the edge of the table, emptying its content onto the floor. Mom has been pregnant 6 times. 1 miscarried daughter, 2 daughters, 3 stillbirth daughters. She remembers the days like her birthday, forgets to celebrate her birthdays. One day, she will dream of the children she has lost, all of them fighting for spilt milk from her breast. She'll be alone, but when she awakens, she will no longer blame herself. Only 2 of us could have stayed. 1 for each hand, 1 for each eye. She was the only one we would have.
I walk in your shadow, but I don't think about you all the time. I'm not always walking on Renaissance cobblestones, in consecrated temples or millennial orchards. Skies drench my face, my love, and it's not from thinking of you, nor the little soul holding out a hand to the one who doesn't brush against it, sensibly waiting for the wheels that would gladly crush it out of this disaster.
Amabhodwe alele ubusika eziko lamaphupho aqonsisa amathe ubuthongo indlala. Ingubo kadonsi isikhumba ngemsebe yelanga elimbheqolo kuzwele kwisalukazi phansi kukaSimakade sithi mntanomntanami khumbula ikhaya. Kunzima ukulibala ntombi endala uyahleba umakhelwane ungize ngomhlwana. Ngoba nakho mina ngilala emva kwendlu engenamshudo kwelakithi nginovalo. Ngakhonjwa inyama ngomune egcekeni kwashoda amazinyo ngaphuma eceleni ngayozama izambane ngobuciko bepeni sengikude kwasekhaya sekusekudeni. Baphelile abangani wancipha umndeni eziko lamaphupha ngisasoli mina kwazi mina ngedwa ngiboneni ngahlalwa yilahleli futhi esifubeni ngehla ngenyuka kwasemzimbeni ngabuya abashalazela bese bangithunile abangithandayo bangikhumbuza ubude bendlela nokubaluleka kwamakhandlela bathi ubusika buyashesha buyadlula weshwabhedi ubumnyama obuza kuphindelela futhi eziko lamaphupho ubuthongo buyohlala buyindlala
The mirror splits you in two. The girl in the mirror says, even your shadow leaves you in the darkness. You have become your family's sigh. You hate yourself for being desirable, for not wearing your brain as your skin, for saving the best things for men who aren't men, for being scared of all men. Sometimes love letters are suicide notes. Sometimes suicide notes are love letters that cannot breathe. I am afraid. I don't remember which one I wrote. I don't know where it came from or where it's going. I ask, laughter is a tiring thing, do you not think? My friend replies when there's a sadness hidden just behind the gasping breath, yes. But she adds, it isn't necessary. The girl in the mirror and the mirror stare right back at you. The mirror murmurs, even your shadow leaves you in the darkness. You have become your family's sigh. You hate yourself for being desirable, for not wearing your brain as your skin, for saving the best of you for a man, for being scared of all men. The girl in the mirror laughs. The mirror laughs. The girl and the mirror are laughing without me. I am 20 and scared and reckless. I'm learning to love with my eyes open and to sleep with my eyes closed. I'm learning trust. I remind myself, do not fall asleep with a man you do not love. Sometimes you dream out loud. I remind myself, pretty girl, riding shooting stars. You need to undo the spells you cast, using lungs as landing strips. If you're smoke at 20, you will fade by 30. The girl in the mirror laughs. The mirror laughs. The girl and the mirror laugh without me. Sometimes suicide notes are love letters that laughed alone. Sometimes love letters are suicide notes that have been taught how to breathe and keep you company in the darkness.
songbird. So the world became a field of birds always rising into flight. A swarm of starlings and ravens restless as a run of frantic locusts. And I heard the songbirds call, sonorous to birds of all seasons to converge with their music of manifold melodies and plural harmonies. Sang the songbird, share my perch upon this mount of visions. Follow me with your songs past haruspications. Come, share with me your own songs, and let's incline our ears to each other. So sang the songbird to all the conference of birds, her luminous voice a resounding echo, and I heard a chorus rising where birds rose, a moving chorus meant for birds of every plumage. The world is a wondrous egg, a wondrous egg, a wondrous egg. The world is a wondrous egg, and it sits on a nest of words. Words, mules of meaning, atlas that showed us the planet. Let me have you in my pouch and not around my neck. When called upon to account, let me be found busy in your loom with strand on strand of meaning. Words, wild as waterfalls, you cascade with the heat of summer into rap songs. And tonight, at a nightclub in Baghdad, only the wise will heed your cautious portents. Words, you roll through winter in stadium after stadium, powering anthems of soccer lovers in deep play. You never walk alone. You lead the dance across the fecund face of the moon. Words, your tenderness turns into a gardener of flowers in the fields of Kigali and Darfur. Your hands free cage birds from Johannesburg to Cairo. The songbird sang through harmattan and rain of the wondrous, wondrous egg. The starlings and ravens chorused of the nest that holds the egg. Their voices is a stream running over cool stones, singing. The world is a wondrous egg, a wondrous egg, a wondrous egg. The world is a wondrous egg, and it sits on a nest of words.
Every inhale, I am 3 generations of women who never made it past 40. I am 3 generations of women who never made it past 40. Erased, one way or another. Bullets or memories of bullets stole them from us. I am 3 generations of women who never made it past 40. They were the wrong people, the wrong religion, in a state designed, exclusive, settled on earth and skin. I'm 3 generations of patching tents and homes, of picking up and starting new, suitcases and keys, of saving scraps because the siege might come and it always, always comes, of sleeping on airport floors, of memorizing immigration questions and maps, of loving men, too in love with their revolutions to really love, of loving men, too in love with their revolutions to really love, of loving boys, still wondering where home went, of marking funerals as loud as we mark weddings, of marking funerals as loud as we mark weddings, of debke like life depended on it, of joy and love against skies of steel, of joy and love against skies of steel. I'm 3 generations of women who never made it past 40. Every exhale, I am their every sigh by a window, every bus ride to the prison waiting room, every hug long enough to be broken by a soldier, every trembling hand searching in the ruins. Every candle, every notebook, every za'atar sandwich between the notebooks. Every exam with no electricity, every whisper and kiss under the blankets, so the kids won't hear it. Every angry stare at a checkpoint, every made-up lyrics because my mother spoke in poetry but could not remember songs. Every breath and every gesture, every meal, rough hands yet gentle. Every braid, fingertips dancing through thick black hair. Every braid, fingertips dancing through thick black hair. They are with me. They carry me. I am 3 generations of women who made it. I am 3 generations of women who made it. In my every inhale, in my every exhale, they made it. We made it. We made it. We made it.
Didn't hesitate to shoot, displaced most our population time and time from their roots. Then they tried to hide the proof, looks like 1492. Different time, different place, the same white supremacist rule. Now I'm living in a land where the land see me as an enemy, no liberty. If you wanna be, then the FBI got an eye on the people who they said inspired. House arrest, stop and frisk, fund occupation through the colleges. BDS, yes BDS, then they hit you with a claim you a terrorist. On the terror list, on the precipice, drone take out another nemesis. Weapon tested in the Gaza Strip, sold to our pigs and they copy it. What the fuck, seen every day, views on the news getting us played. We gotta mobilize, we gotta organize.
And if one dies, then another 10 will rise.
We about return and liberation. Turtle Island to Palestine and self-determination. We'll replant every tree, rebuild every home, and until we see that day, our resistance lives on.
Crack babies wreaking havoc, certain people catching privilege, stolen land, they counting up all my riches. Feds taking pictures while we organizing all the visions. What's the mission? Education or that fucking prison? Fatherless men raise me, not following all the hate speech. I'm colonizing, I'm crazy. A dollar sign where my brain be. Pop my third eye open from twerking and turning up. Ratchet of the earth, Savage Patch Kids is learning this stuff. Restoring all our language from anguish taken from sacred places. Honor all relations, fighting colonial cases. Decolonization, more than just all them fancy phrases. More like a movement that's practiced up and on the daily, like Sharif tell 'em.
We about return and liberation. Turtle Island to Palestine and self-determination. We'll replant every tree, rebuild every home, and until we see that day, our resistance lives on.
لا لشيء نسرب سوائلنا المنوية في زجاجات معقمة، نحفر في الرمل الرخو مدينة كي نشتري الملابس الداخلية ومسحوق الحليب، نمرر 1000 كعكة إلى العاصمة عبر ثقب في الجدار. نبني بيتنا المطحون 100 مرة في رياح الجنوب. نجتاح في أعياد المسلمين المدن الساحلية. نحتفل بدفن جثة بعد 300 يوم من الانتظار. نصنع من أنابيب المياه ما يدخل إلى ملجأ دولة كاملة. نشرب ماء وملحا لنرى في سماء طبيعية قمرا طبيعيا. نتلقى السقف فوق رؤوسنا في سوريفا وحيدين بعد 7 ساعات من عناد الرصاص في وجه الكتيبة. نبحر 1000 ميل نحو العالم الأول في زورق صيد. منا من يختار أبدية الماء في الطريق. نسقط من الطابق السابع في شارع الحمراء رقصا بعد أن رفضتنا المدينة ورفضنا العالم. نأكل العشب والقطط. نأكل العشب والقطط ولا ننسى أن نعزف على البيانو لما تبقى منا في شوارع الحصار. نفعل كل ذلك لا لشيء سوى أننا نريد أن نعيش.
Ndihamba lendlela ndisiwa ndivuka ndihlele thembe ayikudala bendihleka behleba besithi andisos ndiphumele mna ndilindele kuwe somanda ndilindele kuwe amata ndilindele kuwe dilindele kuwe amata. The truth of the matter is I'm tired of waiting. I'm asking where can live in this spirit. I can't change this. I'm stronger than the Whatever when not shallow. Only tele we amata ge we belinga we no so bela bela vaya va le pobre le ba so ya vale ya
Ndichemtuku no wandisa opi zwiguru. Atongo shushedzwa nga zwitori zwa zwiguru. No wandichito uriwa. Nichipangwa begeni ya bewa nta wardrobe. Ati atubona chiguru. Atitendi kha zwiguru. Nidiva zwitori zwa vhukuma. Zwa zwithu zwo iteaho na zwine zwa khou itea. Nidiva sarungano. Zwitori zwa muliloni. Chachakhuluma ibukati ikho bilisa maḓi a u tamba. Mawe vha khou tshaisa nga 7 vha ḓo vhuya nga vho 8. Ndi ḓivha khushumusi tshi swika vhasidzana vhoṱhe vha ḓo yo lukiswa mavhudzi. Haya ndi mafhungo na zwitori zwine nda ḓivha. Ndi ḓivha ṱhamu. Ndi ḓivha uri vhundengwa vhuya rwelwa. Ndi ḓivha tshuṅwahaya dzi sa gumi. Ndi ḓivha khonani sa mashaka. Malume vha ri a thi ḓivhi mashaka. Makhadzi na baba vho dzumba mashaka. Mara zwiphiri a zwi koni u fema zwi maswiswini. Honeha tshedzani a huna zwiphiri. Ndi ḓivha uri vhaṱhanga vha funiwa vha shandukisa matshimbilele. Vhasidzana vha funwa vha shandukisa madzulele. Ho vha na tshitori tsha uri khaladzi ya Marubini na mushango wo ita vhasidzana vha mufune. Zwo ita uri vhasidzana vha mushavhe. No vhuya na zwi vhona uri tshiṅwe tshifhinga ri funa lufuno u fhira vhathu. Ndi u silinga. Ndi tshani u silinga?
Die middag word klein is ek, arms om my bene in die bad, my trane vul die kom van my kleintyd. Ma spons om die vars wonde af die my rug en oor my knieë. Ek is nerf afgeval. Ek en ma het gaan fiets. Ek het omgedroom iets van die perfektheid van die dag met haar te deel en reguit in 'n riviersloot ingery. Die wegskeer van tyd. Die koue stroom teen beton skielik onder die brug. Die vrees vir uitkom. Voor ma haar goue arms uitstrek en my optrek. Ma spons my af. Die badwater diep pink. Daar's lankal nie meer bloed nie, maar sy hou aan spons. Sy was nie meer verskoon maak nie. Sy was vertroos vir al die kere waar sy nie sal kan nie. Soos vandag, waar 'n gewonde man radeloos op die strand bly sit, waar haar sagter woorde en fluisterhande terugkeer om hom te reinig. Lank na die aand reeds die lig uit hierdie badkamer van onthou kom tap het.
3 monkeys sat on a coconut tree, discussing things as they're said to be. Said one to the other, now listen you two, there's a certain rumor that can't be true. That man descended our noble race, this very idea is a big disgrace. No monkey ever deserted his wife, nor her baby, and ruined her life. And you never known a mother monk to leave her baby causing it to bunk, nor pass them on one to the other, till they scarcely knew who was their mother. Yeah, the monkey speaks his mind. Now here's the next thing you'll never see. A monkey building a fence around a coconut tree, forbidding all of the monkeys to come and taste. This very idea is a big disgrace. Now if I build a fence around a tree, starvation will cause you to steal from me. Yeah, the monkey speaks his mind. Now here's the next thing a monkey won't do. Go out at night and get in a brew. Now use a gun, a club, or a knife to take another monkey's life. Yes, man descended the worthless bum, but my God, brothers, from monkey he did not come.
I originally wrote this poem in a moment when myself and many Asian Americans question whether or not our humanity, our lives, mattered in this country we'd been raised to believe in. I'm sharing it now because since then, experiencing how interconnected we are around the world, how much we must collectively do to overcome this, and who we are inside when we don't allow ourselves to be divided. I'm sharing this poem for anyone who's ever questioned their belonging, for anyone who's ever wondered if they matter in the grand scheme, and for anyone who's felt like they had to falsely need the permission of their oppressor in order to find their liberation. This is for all of us who are waking into the understanding that our liberation is through our collective cultural power. This poem is called How Can They Love Us? We just background extras in this America. We just small awards hiding big erasure. We just here to get recast as someone white. We just a voting block for someone who don't look like us. We just a database for boba shops. We just face of the enemy 'cause someone gotta get blamed for invading us. We just proof their Chinese restaurant choice authentic. We just check-offs on their fuck list. We just jokes on jokes on jokes. We just good for what the other ones aren't good for. We just one whim away from all getting deported. We just in the crossfire of the unaddressed. We just incorrect answers to offensive questions of places we ain't been to. We just elders they can get away with killing. We just women they rape then keep swimming. We just keeping our heads down, still praying their love will somehow one day welcome us just enough to white girl kidnapped care about this pain. We've boxed to not Vincent Chin our children. But who am I to ask someone to love me if I don't even exist to them? Who can love a community they treat as a fetish resource? Who can love a people they keep from being a part of how America became? Who can love me if they only welcome my benefit to their delusion? Rejecting my pain as a non-starter to their brunch vibe. I've put too much time into chasing gaslights to relish on scraps. I've lived too much white to keep making excuses for these fames I've known. I've been too upset over who isn't trying to safety my parents. I'd almost made myself invisible to my own power. For we not only the just to them, we, culmination of culture at that catchy inflection point. We, coming together against the will of their milk temptations. We, exercising what we've allowed them to use to try and divide us. We, teaching each other the blind spots that have hindered past efforts. We, breaking open for those who had to stay quiet for us to arrive. We, localizing our globalization on behalf of the fucking world. We, doing what it takes to claim our power from the jaws of invisibility, to protect all people from the harm of hate, to love ourselves from now until we all get to become the source of our story. Thank you.
So this song is dedicated to Ikasti Yonke Agusku is nice. It's in honor of Mam Definitely Muga, R.I.P. Mamzo, Babjo Mafela, R.I.P. Tamaletu, Mamzo, Gloria Mutao, Shuti. Those are the main characters for me. Naba inspire Lengo Mane. Shezi, it's good, it's nice. Zami siyayazi impilo yemphungula amabhoni free awayazi mele babuza ukugula besibukela usisivi uyakhumbula comedy yesizulu esilungu bengihlula life was great njengekhekhe likame amakhwindi wangakakhoni kusile miss my friends ugundino FK besiblume protea east every day empumalanga bottle store benginethepha bekushuka makufika ulaqhasha zokoleka Shy one piece of brown bengesweka abantu babeka imali mina ngibhizi ngibeka intshebo usijava ukhumbulu mamzo yawe uriki uzidlela ukotini ukwesta ugcwalisa istedia ewe ushezi it's good it's nice ay uzodwa usandela istraight ukwesta uzinanyela ingudi yakhe ukabza uskimu porisa yawe ay ushezi it's good it's nice asinasikhathi sokuwesta sibheke i-1 mele isipaneka i-20 iniphi ebrandi sishera siyi-30 shera nekhanda lenyoni uthoka uthanda mina nina niboni mfundisi uzithandela ikhekhe laqhasha uphula imilenze mastente uyibhakela rente khona uLouisa ubadaba ntibele mina nogogo sitshayisana ngoba uthanda indaba zami ungilwisa nomastende wami ugugile unenkinga nami akangifila ngimfili nami akangifila ngimfili nami yawe usijava ukhumbulu mamzo uriki uzidlela ukotini ukhespa ugcwalisa istedia wena ushezi it's good it's nice ay uzodwa uzithandela istraight ukwesta uzinanyela ingudi yakhe ukabza uskimu porisa ashu ushezi it's good it's nice yeah I sound good on the mic, it's good and it's nice. Kucha siyaza itholakale Mr. Price. Goloko ne-Sprite, business call, iku-Skype. Kubogela nginasap makamuhle ngine-appetite. Kale talent ne-skill, funa ukwenza ama-meal. Lyrically great, ngathi nengqondo ezimbili. Ama-beat ongafeel, ama-beat ongafeel. Ngi-serial killer, ama-beat ongafeel. Usijava, ukhumbulu mamzo. Uriki, uzidlela ukotini. Ukhespa ugcwalisa istedia ushezi it's good it's nice yawe uzodwa uzithandela istraight ukwesta uzincanyweni ingudi yakhe ugabza uskimukorisa yawe ushezi it's good it's nice achu ushezi it's good it's nice
Manje
Aye, it's good it's nice.
It's good it's nice.
It's good it's nice get better.
This poem is called Forest Trees. On the third last day. Forest, on the third last day, we buried the last of the standing living giants. A color left so thin, a soul for you knew the grudge, you knew the calamity that can turn us into wire transmitters in the very high microwave heat remote facing sensors. You knew of all these times we could have been, we chose to become a Satan charlatan. Thina singanga manzi esidibeni phezu kwazo zonke izinhlobo nayo yonke imigwaqo ephuthumayo. In the seated hairs, in the chairs always given, in our hearts, in the ease that somewhere we will always make things turn into a pattern, paint around the paddle, through all the water, all creatures seaward facing. At first we are a sun, then at a comforting pace, always we are nearly almost there, and from now on, nothing will become a secret. So I've made this break into a rock, into a tarantula, I made it into a carbon bomb inside the hydrogen, and I made it all with basic water. So I raise my face, I raise our face, sun, taste, eye, soft, enter, power, door, within your hips, my madman lips, press on until I see my revival. Forest, it is everything I've done that is now messing you up. On the last day, bye-bye cables of the world, bye-bye the trends of your fashions, bye-bye your exceeding realities, bye-bye with a glowing light of touch, your penchant for angels, or precious stones, pendants, bye-bye. Come now, my company of young guerrillas, come, let's agitate the world, let's descend far beyond our imperfect surrender, when all that we have, till destiny is still there where all roads never end. Come, we arise, open it up, the tale of legends, whose skirts and shirts soaked deep in a hurricane of blood.
Aha! That's it for me. I told you it was going to be a long night. It doesn't mean if I'm not here, it's not going to continue, man. Okay? We're still going on. We are crossing over. I told you we're going overseas. We're connecting you through these lines. But remember to always wear a mask, always social distance, and always acclimatize yourself with sanitizing yourself. Right. Have a good night. Ha la la.